Hello students, now coming to the part 2 of the glucocorticoids. So we are seeing with the pharmacological actions of the glucocorticoids. Now coming to the actions on the hematological system. Now on the hematological system, the glucocorticoids main action is on the WBCs. So they cause a reduction in the number of the lymphocytes, the monocytes, the eosinophils and the basophils. So there is a decrease in the number of the all these cells, especially the WBCs. In acute lymphoblastic leukemia, the glucocorticoids cause rapid destruction of all the lymphocytes, and this action is utilized in the treatment of glucocorticoids in the malignancy. So, in lymphoid malignancies, especially Hodgkin's lymphoma and other non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, also glucocorticoids can be used because of their power to destroy the lymphocytes. Now coming to the action on the gastrointestinal system. Glucocorticoids increase the basal and the nocturnal acid secretion. So there is increase in the gastric acid secretion whenever the level of the glucocorticoids are increased in the blood. So in stress there is a increased incidence of the gastritis and the peptic ulcer because of increased level of the glucocorticoids in the blood. Now coming to the next important action of the glucocorticoid, that is the anti-inflammatory action. Now glucocorticoids, they suppress all the signs and symptoms of the inflammation. So they are having an anti-inflammatory action. They suppress all the signs and symptoms of the inflammation. Now they suppress the all the signs and symptoms, that is the swelling, tenderness, redness, heat, edema, local pain. So all is suppressed, that is the symptoms and signs of inflammation, all are suppressed. They suppress the early phenomena as well as late phenomena of the inflammation. Now the early phenomena, that is the migration of the leukocytes, capillary dilatation, edema. So this is suppressed, and fibrin deposition also. So these are the early phenomena of the inflammation, as well as the late phenomena of inflammation. That is they suppress the collagen deposition, fibroblastic proliferation, and the capillary proliferation. So this is also suppressed by the glucocorticoids. Glucocorticoids, because of all these actions, interferes with the wound healing. So this is an important action of the glucocorticoids. Now coming to the mechanism of anti-inflammatory action of the glucocorticoids. Now glucocorticoids, they induce a protein called as the lipocortin, and this lipocortin protein inhibits the enzyme phospholipase A2. The phospholipase A2 prevents the conversion of the membrane phospholipids into the arachidonic acid. So the release of the arachidonic acid from the membrane phospholipids is inhibited by inhibiting the enzyme phospholipase A2. So by inhibiting the enzyme phospholipase A2, there is a no release of arachidonic acid from the membrane phospholipid, and from the arachidonic acid, as you know, that various prostaglandins and leukotrienes, that is the pro-inflammatory mediators of inflammation, are released. So the pro-inflammatory prostaglandins, leukotrienes are not formed, as well as platelet activating factor is not formed. It also causes stabilization of the lysosomal membrane. Then it also inhibits the chemotaxis and inhibits the migration of the leukocytes, especially the neutrophils, the basophils, the monocytes. It decreases their function and inhibits the release of the histamine from the mast cells as well as the basophils. So the action of the histamine is reduced. That's why capillary permeability is also reduced. So if you see, the main action of the glucocorticoids is to inhibit the release of various inflammatory mediators, that is the cytokines, the leukotrienes, the prostaglandins, the platelet activating factor, the interleukins, which are responsible for mediating all the signs and symptoms of the inflammation. So these pro-inflammatory mediators release is inhibited, which are derived from the arachidonic acid. So this is the main action of the glucocorticoid, that is inhibition of the release of the inflammatory mediators from the arachidonic acid by inhibiting the enzyme phospholipase A2. Arachidonic acid is released from the membrane phospholipids. So this is the main mechanism of anti-inflammatory action of the glucocorticoids. Now coming to the important immunosuppressive action of the glucocorticoids. Now what is the immunosuppressive action of the glucocorticoid? This is a very important action of the glucocorticoids. Now this action is seen in very large therapeutic doses. It is seen in very large therapeutic doses Here the glucocorticoids at very large therapeutic doses, they inhibit the function of the macrophages and thus reduce the ability of the macrophages to respond to the antigens. So the ability of the macrophages to respond to the antigens is reduced, and the function of the macrophages is inhibited. Also the now macrophages are involved in the in the immunity. So the function of the macrophages, when it is reduced, the its ability to respond to the antigens will be reduced, and this affects the phagocytic action of the macrophages, as well as the bactericidal action of the macrophages is inhibited. Further, it also reduces the production of the tumor necrosis factor alpha, as well as the interleukins and the interferons also. Then next action is that it inhibits the activation of the cytotoxic T lymphocytes. So the activation of the cytotoxic T lymphocytes is inhibited, and the proliferation of the cytotoxic T lymphocytes is inhibited. So there is a transient peripheral leukopenia also. So there is a lysis of the T lymphocytes also, and there is a main action is this, that is the activation of the cytotoxic T lymphocytes is inhibited, and there is a lysis of the T lymphocytes. So the T lymphocytes are mainly involved in the cell mediated immunity. So the activation of the T lymphocytes is inhibited, first of all, which are cytotoxic T lymphocytes. So the activation is inhibited, the proliferation is inhibited, and there is a lysis of the T lymphocytes. So the production of the lymphokines from the T lymphocytes is inhibited, and so there is no cell mediated immunity, and that gets suppressed. So main action is the suppression of the cell mediated immunity, and the cell mediated hypersensitivity reaction is suppressed. Now this action is seen at 40 to 60 milligram of prednisolone per day. So at these doses, you can see this suppression of the cell mediated immunity. So at these doses which suppress the cell mediated immunity, at these doses there is no suppression of the humoral immunity in general, because they do not suppress the antibody production. So the antibody production is not suppressed at these doses, but a higher doses are required for the suppression of the humoral immunity. So the homograph rejection is inhibited. So because of suppression of the cell mediated immunity, homograph rejection reaction is inhibited, and during organ transplantation there is a reaction which occurs, that is inhibited. So this reaction can be inhibited by suppressing the cell mediated immunity, but to suppress the antibody production, higher doses are required. Generally 100 to 200 milligram of prednisolone per day should be given to suppress the specific concentration of the IgG antibody. So to reduce the specific concentration or effective concentration of the specific IgG antibody, you have to give a larger doses, which causes suppression of the humoral immunity. So glucocorticoids at moderate doses do not suppress the antibody production. So antibody production is suppressed only at very high doses, that is 100 to 200 milligram of prednisolone per day. So at the moderate doses, that is at 40 to 60 milligram of prednisolone per day, they do not suppress the antibody production, but they can reduce the inflammatory response to the antigen antibody reaction. So they reduce the inflammatory response to the allergic reaction, and this basis of action is used for the use of the glucocorticoids in the treatment of the bronchial asthma, urticaria, allergic rhinitis, and so on. So in allergic disorders, mainly the inflammatory response to the allergic disorders are reduced at moderate doses, while to reduce the antibody production or the specific antibody production, you need to give a very high doses. So with this we finish the pharmacological actions of the glucocorticoids. Now coming to the adverse reactions of the glucocorticoids. Now coming to the classification of the glucocorticoids. Now glucocorticoids are divided according to the duration of action as a short acting, intermediate acting, and the long acting glucocorticoids. Now short acting are having duration of action for 8 to 12 hours, and these are the hydrocortisone. The intermediate are having duration of action for the 18 to 36 hours, and this is the prednisolone and the methylprednisolone. And the long acting are having duration of action for 36 to 54 hours, and that is the dexamethasone and the betamethasone.